Alright, so today we're going to do a battery day. So we're going to do a battery on the bike, and then we're going to do a battery on the tractor. So first things first, I guess we'll do the bike. I'll get it pulled out over here to the side, and then we'll do the tractor. And I could probably do that right where it sits. If not, I'll scoot it back a little bit. So let's get some tools and get started. So first things first, there's 2 screws on the seat that are going to have to come out, and you just pull your seat back. And there's 1, and there's 2, and I believe they're M6x1 Allen keys. So that's going to use, I think, a 5mm, but I'll get it out and I'll show you. Then after that, again, there's 2 M6x1s here on the tank, which you don't actually have to mess with, but they're both the same. So if you ever have to lift the tank on your R6, you got to take the seat off. Then you can take this off, then go from there. So I'm going to try to get a good angle so you guys can see what I'm doing. And hopefully this doesn't fall over. So these are a 5mm Allen key. And again, just peel the seat back and give it a couple turns and it should come right out. As a rule of thumb, always find a common place out of the way to put both your tools and your hardware. That way you don't look up from what you're doing and go, oh crap, where did I put my 5mm? And I'll say a designated place out of the way. Take at least 5 steps to put them down. That way, when you're over here and you're focused on what you're doing, when you stand up, you don't kick them or flick them around, anything like that. So it'll make your day a lot less stressful. And I'll just drop it down in there. Alright, so now that the screws are out, you actually have to come this way and then lift up. So pull the seat back and then lift up, because it's got this little latch right here. It's going to come under this notch on the frame. And that screw's gone, so I'll have to get some hardware from work, or maybe it'll turn up later. We'll see how it goes. So coming in at this angle, if you have a stock battery, which I do not, there should be a battery strap. So I don't have my battery strap on because, frankly, with this battery is a little bit bigger than stock, so the strap wouldn't actually fit on it. So all you have to do now is undo these 2 screws, and then once those screws are out, and you got to kind of wiggle and just, I mean, you got to go for it, because that battery trays down in there and it's kind of a pain in the butt. So set you guys up here, and then I'm gonna go get a screwdriver. See if I can get you guys a better angle. There we go. I'm gonna go get a screwdriver, and then I'll come back and we got the screwdriver. Let's go for it. As a rule of thumb, you're supposed to always start with the negative terminal whenever you're removing a battery, whether it be on your bike or your car or whatever. Just get the ground off of there. That way, if you're kneeling against the frame, you don't get electrocuted. Alright, now behind this screw, so I have a couple things going on. I got the extra ground for my power commander, plus I got the ring clip that goes back to my battery commander, which is up underneath of the glove box. And again, take your hardware, set it to the side. Now there is a little square thing in here, so if you have a magnetic screwdriver, you can pull that fella out. You are going to need it later on. Batteries do not come with this for the most part, I don't believe. We'll see when we get the battery later today. but I don't think you're going to get that with your battery, so save on to it. And again, take at least 5 steps and then put down your hardware. That way you do not lose it. Good Lord. Alright, so I'm gonna have to get some WD-40 to spray on that bolt. It's a little rusted in, so we'll spray it, we'll let it penetrate for a few minutes, and we'll come back. Alright, so we're going to take this WD-40, we're going to spray it kind of right into where the screw goes, just to try to free up some of that rust and crud that's all over the threads there. Try to keep it out of your fuse box right here, because you don't want to have any problems when you go to start. While that sets up, I'm going to go try to paint. I don't know if you guys are following my Saucy Tanya series. I have a Ford Focus ST that I'm doing some things with, and I made a bracket for the oil catch can, and I'm going to try this Rust-Oleum high heat paint. It is a stainless steel bracket, so the first time I tried to paint it, the stainless steel, I mean, the paint stuck, but you could scrape it off with your finger. So I have a piece that I sandblasted, and I'm going to go ahead and see if this won't stick a little better. So again, while that's penetrating, I'm going to go do a test spray on my bracket. Alright, so I went and got my impact with a Phillips head number 3. It's a nice big, it's flat, it's not real pointy, so it's going to let this sit down in there as deep as it can. I got my Ryobi impactor, it's a 3-speed, I got it in the mid-level torque range, and I'm going to put it down in here, and I'm going to just go for it. Alright. If that doesn't work, I believe that's a number 10 or a 10 millimeter bolt, so you can just get a regular socket 10 millimeter put on there, which is probably what I should have did to begin with, but here we are. Again, tools and hardware, take at least 10 steps before you put them down. That way you don't kick them around your work area. You know where your tools are. It's a little OCD, but it's worth it in the long run to be able to go right back and find your tool right away. You don't want to spend 15 minutes looking for tools every time you put one down. Okay, good. That's a long one. Alright, so again, this is the positive terminal that goes back to my power commander, and we'll just put both of those, pull them out of the way. And this goes to the power commander. I'm sorry. Alright. Now the fun part. So again, we'll take our magnetic screwdriver and we'll get that nut out of there so we don't lose them. Because again, I don't know that your new battery will come with these. It's been a long time since I've done a battery. So again, you're just going to have to kind of go for it. So as you can see, it's kind of tight. You pick this fella up. Just keep wiggling and pulling and wiggling and pulling. It's kind of a pain. And then she should come right out. And then you do need a 9BS, but this is a larger 9BS, and I think it's mainly because the cold cranking amps I think are higher than the stock battery, which isn't a bad thing. Higher amps, as long as you don't go too high because you don't want to blow your fuses. But the more cold cranking amps you have, the easier it's going to start when it's cool. Alright, cool. So now the only thing left to do would be to take a trip out to your local O'Reilly's or Advance Auto or wherever you get your batteries from. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Advance Auto. So we'll get the battery and we'll come back and I'll show you pre-prep before you put your battery back in what needs to be done. Alright guys, so we made it. We're here at the AutoZone. We're going to go in here and get these batteries. just remember to get your core charge. So when you turn in the old batteries, they should give you a discount on the new batteries. It's called a core charge. Don't let them take you, okay? All right, let's go get these batteries. All right, y'all, so AutoZone hooked it up. They actually did just a swap out for the tractor battery because it didn't last the whole year. And then I got the new battery for the bike. It's a little different on the top what the terminals are, but it should be easier, so I don't need them little square blocks inside the terminals anymore. I should be able to just drive the screw right into it. And I even got a new power commander for the battery prep. So we'll go home, we'll get these inside, and I'll show you what you need to do to prepare your batteries to be replaced. Alright, so we're back from AutoZone. We got our two batteries here, and we got a new battery tender right here. So let's go ahead and open this box up and see what's inside, huh? Alright. Now this one says right on the box, connect it and forget it. So you should never leave a battery charging unattended, just in case. It comes with these gator clips. These are what we're going to use first. Came with a new set of ring clips that you put on your batteries on your vehicle. I'm not going to need these. I'll keep those, put them to the side like the extra. So this one will charge lead acid, and it also charged lithium. So these are both lead acid batteries. So we're going to use that setting. So what we got to do here is we're going to have to take the cap off. Take this cap off. Take this cap off. And these are to protect the terminals, so when you're hooked up outside, you don't get any rain, rust, and guts, and all that nasty stuff down in there. Alright. So plug it into your wall outlet first. Then we will take it, negative terminal and negative terminal. We're going to slide this one a little closer. And then positive on positive. Now, once this is hooked up, I guess that light will light up orange on the connector, and then when that light turns green, your battery is fully charged. Now you want to make sure you get a full charge on your battery before you hook it up to your equipment. That way you don't diminish the life of the battery. Alright, so that's the one for the tractor. Once that's green, we'll get it put in. It's just a reverse of the way we took it out. Alright, so here's the battery we got for the bike. Let's go ahead and get it out of the box. So for this, these are going to be the screws that are needed. We're going to put them in over here. So it came with new hardware. It's a terminal cover. I'm not 100% sure if we need to use these gold washers or not, but it doesn't look like there's anywhere to slide them in anyway. So moving on, we have our power commander right here. This one's a little different. When you first plug it in, the light's going to show up red, and then when the battery is fully charged, it will be solid green. So again, same thing. You have your connector here from the power commander. Then you have your connector here for your gator clips. You pull the cover off. Plug your gator clips in. Make sure they stay separated when you plug in your battery tender. Plug your battery tender in. Oh man. May have to find a new outlet, but I'll show you how this goes down first. So you hold that back. Put your positive on your positive, because remember, we always connect the negative last and take it off first. And there you go. And then As you can see, you got the solid red light right there and the yellow light for charging on that one down there for the tractor. And we'll come back and show you how to put it in. Bike's only been plugged in about 30 seconds and it's already showing up flashing green, which just means that it's more than 80% charged. So technically, if we really wanted to, we can throw this battery in the bike now and use it, but we're going to wait until that light is solid green so the battery is 100% charged, and then we'll go start the bike up for the first time this season. Alright, so here we go. So that was actually really quick. The motorcycle battery is already done charging, so it comes fairly charged from AutoZone. So go ahead and get these clips off. And I know I just violated my own rule. You always do the negative terminal first. But it is what it is. So let's get this battery outside and we'll get it in the bike. Alright, so here we go. So we're back outside the bike. And we got the battery. We got the hardware right here. So I'll put that up there for now. And like I said before, you just kind of got to plop this fella in here. This is probably the hardest part, is getting it back in. Really, really tight. You know, as much as I love my R6, I absolutely hate doing the batteries on this thing. There's just so much going on in here. Please don't fall. Oh Lord, let's hope it isn't too big. See, it's hard because you want to get it in there and then kind of go down all at once evenly. And when I lined these batteries up next to each other, they were the same size in the store. So if the other one fit, theoretically this one should too. Be careful you don't shock yourself. Alright, I got me a flathead. Now this thing's only out by like a millimeter. So if I can get this fella in here, pry out and push down at the same time, I should be in good shape. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come on, baby. Oh, so close. Alright, give me a second, I'll come back. Alright, so what I ended up by having to do is pry the negative terminal side out first. So I got it in there, I got this back. I pushed the battery this way and down at the same time. And now it's in there for the most part. Voila. Like a glove. Like I said, guys, this is the hardest part, is getting the new battery in. Now the only other flaw with this battery versus the old one, if you look, the terminal is probably going to have to be flipped upside down in order to fit, which is no big deal. We'll get it on there. This one's going to be a little bit of a different story. Worst case scenario, I'll go ahead and cut the tab off. So, who are you talking to? So this battery came with these really cool little holder for the hardware, and again, like I said, the terminal itself is threaded, so we're not going to need those little square nuts from the other battery. But what we are going to need to do is rethread our battery tender cable back through here, which again, it's like a bird's nest in here, man. I love this bike, but I hate doing a battery on it. It's just so tight in here. Alright, so we get this fella in. We'll probably put him on first because of the way this terminal is and how we're going to have to flip it. Then we'll get this guy going over here, and we'll do a first start. So go ahead and get this fella started like this. This fella on here like that. Go in there. And I'm going to use my Ryobi impactor and just zip it in, but I am going to put it on the lowest torque setting. Then I'll come back with a regular Phillips head. I probably won't even that. Yeah, I will, because that needs to be tighter. You want to make sure that you have a nice tight connection, but at the same time, you don't want to strip it out. So we'll probably do the same thing again. Take our little screw out of our hardware package. We got a lot more going on this time, so I was trying to save on to this fella. This might actually be long enough. Yeah, so this will actually be long enough. So what we'll do, we'll go here and here, and then we'll connect on there. And even with all these tugging wires, you want to make sure that your hardware is going in straight before you turn it, even if you're turning it by hand. See, that's still a little loose for me. There we go, nice and tight. Now, it's not recommended to use the impactor on here because, again, you want to be able to get it back off later on. And as you can see from how hard it was to get the battery in, you don't have to worry about your battery strap on this one. So let me go get the keys and we'll fire this bad boy up. So here we go, moment of truth. Got the shut off switch on. We don't call it a kill switch. We don't kick or kill anything when it comes to our motorcycles. So this is not a kickstand, it is a side stand, and this is an engine shut off switch. So let's turn this key. Oh yeah, hear that fuel pump kick on? Oh, you gotta love it. Alright, so as you can see, wasn't too bad all in all. It should only take you about 20 minutes to do the whole procedure. Once you have the battery. So the next step is going to be getting this seat back on, and I just heard that screw rattle, so I think the other seat screw just fell out on the ground somewhere. I'll have to go ahead and take a look for it. I got new handle grips right here. We're going to do another video. These grips are probably about 10 years old. Super sick, but they've seen better days. So look out for that video. And just to put everybody's mind at ease, I did find the other screw for the seat. It was actually sitting right here next to my PCM. So yep, good to go. Got both of the hardwares. So I decided to go ahead and just finish it off, put the seat back on for you guys. So you want to take these tabs here first, here and here, and tuck them in up underneath where the glove box is. So back up underneath, make sure you pull back and then push down. So this is a Saddleman track seat, so it doesn't actually fit perfect, so you gotta fight with it a little bit just to get it back in there. so you guys can see, I did get the seat back on. Inevitably, what I had to do was push down on the front, get these tabs underneath this plastic, lift up and pull forward in the back while pressing down on the front. But it is in there. It's nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. All right. And just so you know, boom. We're going to go ahead and let her idle up, and then maybe in a couple minutes I'll take her for a spin. It is still pretty cold here in Maryland, so it won't be a real long spin, but it's going to be a spin nevertheless. Alright, so it's time to cap this video off. I took her for a quick spin, just from one neighborhood to another. It is way too cold out here in Maryland, but yep. So just remember, if you're buying a bike or buying a battery for this bike, the one at AutoZone is a little bit thicker. The battery itself is the right size, but the cap on top of the battery is a little bit thicker than the not even stock one that I had in there. So yeah, if you're going to get a battery for this thing, it's best to just look through the owner's manual, try to see if you can find an OEM battery for it. They fit a lot better. You can utilize your battery strap. See, it'll go on nice and easy. You won't have to fight and cuss and yell at this thing. So, alright, until next time.